Marcus never imagined his life would turn out like this, barely scraping by, stuck in a small resale shop, and now dealing with a betrayal that cut deeper than he thought possible. It was late afternoon when Marcus trudged back to the family resale shop. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the cluttered sidewalks of the small neighborhood. The shop had been in his family for generations, a modest little place that sold second-hand goods, everything from old vinyl records to vintage furniture. It was a far cry from the sleek, modern pawnshop his cousin Tyrone's family owned just a few blocks away. As Marcus unlocked the door and stepped inside, he was greeted by the familiar smell of old wood and the faint scent of dust. The place was quiet, save for the creaking of the floorboards under his feet. Business had been slow for months, and the bills were piling up faster than the customers. His parents had worked hard to keep the shop open, but it was clear they were struggling. Now, with the news he had just received, the weight of it all felt almost unbearable. He had been with Keisha for 3 years. She had been his rock through the toughest times, or so he thought. But today, everything had come crashing down. She had been distant lately, and when he confronted her about it, she didn't even try to hide the truth. "Marcus, we need to talk," she had said, her voice trembling slightly. He had felt a pit form in his stomach as she spoke those words. "What's going on, Keisha?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. She couldn't look him in the eye. "I've been seeing someone else," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't mean for it to happen, but it's Tyrone." Tyrone. Of all people, it had to be Tyrone. His own cousin, the golden boy of the family, who had everything handed to him on a silver platter. Marcus had always envied Tyrone's success, but he never imagined his cousin would stab him in the back like this. He had felt the blood drained from his face, his hands balling into fists at his sides. "How long?" was all he could manage to ask. Keisha hesitated, then finally met his gaze. "A few months," she admitted. "I'm sorry, Marcus. I didn't mean to hurt you." But she had. More than she could ever know. Marcus left without another word. He didn't have the strength to argue or fight. The betrayal was too fresh, too raw. As he walked away from her, he felt a hollowness settle in his chest, like a piece of him had been ripped away. Back at the shop, Marcus sat down behind the counter, running his hands through his hair as he tried to make sense of everything. His cousin had taken everything from him, his girlfriend, his dignity, and now, it seemed, his will to keep fighting. The family shop was teetering on the edge of collapse, and without Keisha, he felt completely alone. Just when he thought his day couldn't get any worse, his phone buzzed in his pocket. It was his dad. "Marcus, we need to talk." His father's voice was strained, filled with worry. "Not you too," Marcus muttered under his breath before answering. "Yeah, Dad, what's up?" "We can't pay the rent on the building this month," his father said bluntly. "The landlord's been patient, but he's running out of it. If we don't come up with the money by the end of the week, we're going to lose the shop." Marcus closed his eyes, feeling the weight of the world crushing down on him. The shop was more than just a business, it was his family's legacy. His grandparents had started it with nothing, building it up with their own hands, and now it was all slipping away. "All right," Marcus said quietly, "I'll figure something out." But as he hung up the phone, he couldn't help but wonder how. How could he possibly fix this? Everything was falling apart, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't seem to catch a break. For a moment, Marcus considered giving up. What was the point of fighting when everything he cared about was being ripped away from him? But just as he was about to let the despair take over, he heard something strange, a soft, melodic voice, clear as a bell, speaking directly into his mind. "The Eden system is activated," the voice said, calm and soothing. Marcus blinked, looking around the empty shop. "What the?" "Congratulations, Marcus," the voice continued. "For not giving up and deciding to fight, you have been selected as the host of the Eden system. As a reward, you have received a deposit of $1 trillion into your bank account, an estate in your name, and a 75% share in Eden Global Trading Corporation." Marcus stared at the walls of the shop, utterly speechless. He was sure he was losing his mind, that the stress and heartbreak had finally pushed him over the edge. But something about the voice felt real. Slowly, hesitantly, he pulled out his phone and opened his banking app. His heart pounded in his chest as he stared at the screen, waiting for it to load. When the balance finally appeared, Marcus felt his knees go weak. $1 trillion. His hands trembled as he stared at the number, his mind racing to comprehend what he was seeing. This had to be a mistake, some kind of glitch. There was no way this was real. But the voice returned, gentle and reassuring. It's real, Marcus. The Eden system has chosen you. Your life is about to change forever. And just like that, Marcus knew, deep down, in the core of his being, that everything was about to change. The question was, what was he going to do with this incredible gift? The cool night air was still as Marcus stood outside the old brick building that housed his family's resale shop. The overwhelming weight of everything that had happened over the past few hours made him feel like he was in a dream, or maybe a nightmare. He kept glancing at his phone, the $1 trillion balance glaring back at him like some bizarre mirage. It didn't make any sense. His life had been a series of unfortunate events up until now, so why would the universe suddenly decide to give him this? He had to tell someone, and the only people he could trust were his parents. But how would they react? Would they believe him? Would they think he was involved in something illegal? Taking a deep breath, Marcus headed home. The walk to his family's modest house felt surreal, the neighborhood so familiar yet now tinged with an otherworldly sense of unreality. When he finally reached the front door, he hesitated before turning the knob. The voice in his head had assured him that everything was legitimate and that he had earned this through his perseverance and refusal to give up. But he knew his parents were practical people, people who had always struggled to make ends meet. They'd never believed that something like this could happen without strings attached. Marcus stepped inside, the comforting scent of home, cooked meals, and worn furniture, greeting him like an old friend. His parents were in the living room, his mother reading a book while his father watched the news. The moment they saw him, they could tell something was wrong. Marcus, his mother, Carol, asked, putting down her book. "What's going on, honey? You look like you've seen a ghost." His father, Harold, muted the TV and turned to face him, his brow furrowed in concern. "Everything okay, son?" Marcus took another deep breath, trying to steady his nerves. I need to tell you guys something. But it's going to sound crazy." Carol exchanged a worried glance with Harold before they both focused on Marcus, their attention fully on him. "What is it, Marcus?" Harold asked, his voice steady but laced with concern. Marcus hesitated, then decided to just rip off the bandage. "Something happened today. Something unbelievable. I don't even know how to explain it, but I think I've been given a gift. A huge gift." "A gift?" Carol echoed, confused. "What kind of gift? From who?" "From something called the Eden system," Marcus said, feeling ridiculous even as the words left his mouth. "It's hard to explain, but I heard a voice in my head, and it told me that because I didn't give up, because I kept fighting, I've been chosen as a host for this system. And it gave me things." Harold's eyes narrowed suspiciously. "What kind of things, Marcus? What are you talking about?" Marcus swallowed hard, his mouth suddenly dried. $1 trillion, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. For a moment, there was silence. Then his mother let out a nervous laugh. "Marcus, honey, you can't be serious. $1 trillion? That's impossible." "I know it sounds crazy, Mom," Marcus insisted, "but it's real. I checked my bank account. It's there." Harold leaned forward, his eyes searching Marcus's face for any sign that this was some kind of joke. "You're telling me you have $1 trillion in your bank account right now? Just like that?" "Yes," Marcus said, holding up his phone. "Look, I'll show you." He opened the banking app and handed the phone to his father. Harold stared at the screen for a long moment, his expression unreadable. Then he handed the phone to Carol, who gasped when she saw the balance. This can't be real," she murmured, her hand covering her mouth in shock. "Marcus, where did this money come from? What have you gotten yourself into?" "It's not anything illegal, I swear," Marcus said quickly, seeing the worry in his mother's eyes. "The voice told me it's a reward for not giving up. It's a gift, like I said." Harold shook his head, rubbing his temples as if trying to ward off a headache. "A gift? From whom, Marcus? Who has that kind of money to just give away?" "I don't know," Marcus admitted, frustration bubbling up inside him. "The voice just said it was the Eden system. I don't know what it is or why it chose me, but it feels real. And it said this is only the beginning." Carol sat down heavily on the couch, still staring at the phone in disbelief. "This is a lot of money, Marcus. More than anyone could ever need. But we don't know where it came from or if it's safe to use." "I know," Marcus said, running his hands through his hair. "I don't know what to think either. But I think it's meant to help us. To help our family. Maybe this is our chance to finally get ahead, to keep the shop and build something better." Harold looked at his son, his expression softening slightly. "Marcus, we've always taught you to be careful and to think things through. This is a lot to take in. We need to be cautious." "I understand, Dad," Marcus said, nodding. "But I also think this is real. And I think it's something good. Something we've been waiting for." Carol finally looked up at her son, tears in her eyes. "We just don't want you to get hurt, Marcus. We want to believe you, but it's so much." "I know," Marcus said softly. "Boo, believe it. And I think we should give it a chance." Harold sighed, looking at the phone again before handing it back to Marcus. "All right, son. We'll be careful, but let's see where this goes. But we'll need to look into this Eden system. Make sure it's not too good to be true." Marcus nodded, feeling a small sense of relief that his parents were willing to trust him. "Thanks, Dad. I'll do some research, too. But first, there's something else. The voice told me I've also been given an estate. I want to go see it." "An estate?" Carol repeated, her eyebrows raising in surprise. "Where?" "I don't know yet," Marcus admitted. "The voice said it would guide me there. I need to see it for myself." Harold and Carol exchanged another glance, both of them looking equally uncertain. Finally, Harold nodded. "All right, Marcus. But be careful, okay? And take your time. We don't want you getting into anything dangerous." "I will," Marcus promised, feeling a strange mix of excitement and anxiety. "I'll let you know as soon as I get there." With that, he headed back out into the night, the promise of something incredible pushing him forward. Marcus drove through the quiet streets of his neighborhood, his mind racing as he tried to process everything that had happened. He kept glancing at the GPS on his phone, waiting for the voice to tell him where to go. He had no idea what to expect, but something inside him, a feeling of anticipation, perhaps, told him that whatever lay ahead would change his life forever. The voice finally spoke, calm and clear in his mind. "Head north on the highway. I will guide you from there." Marcus obeyed, turning onto the highway and driving into the night. The city lights gradually faded as he left the urban area behind, replaced by the darkness of the countryside. The highway stretched out before him, empty and silent, and the further he drove, the more surreal the situation felt. After about an hour, the voice spoke again. "Take the next exit and follow the road for 10 miles. Marcus followed the instructions, his heart pounding as he left the highway and drove down a narrow, winding road surrounded by thick trees. The road seemed to stretch on forever, the trees looming on either side like silent sentinels. He couldn't see much beyond the headlights of his car, but the voice guided him steadily, each direction leading him deeper into the unknown. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the voice instructed him to turn onto a gravel driveway hidden between the trees. Marcus almost missed it, the entrance was so overgrown that it was nearly invisible. He turned onto the driveway, the gravel crunching under the tires as he made his way forward. The driveway twisted and turned through the woods, and Marcus had to slow down to navigate the tight curves. After a few minutes, the trees began to thin out, and he caught glimpses of something massive in the distance. As he rounded the final bend, the trees parted to reveal an enormous estate, illuminated by soft lights that cast a warm glow over the grounds. Marcus stared in awe at the sprawling mansion before him, his breath catching in his throat. The estate was like something out of a dream. The mansion was a grand, three-story building with tall windows and elegant columns. The architecture was a mix of old-world charm and modern luxury, with ivy climbing up the walls and manicured gardens surrounding the house. A large fountain sat in the center of a circular driveway, water cascading down in a gentle, soothing rhythm. Marcus parked his car at the edge of the driveway and stepped out, feeling as if he had stepped into another world. The air was crisp and cool, filled with the scent of blooming flowers and freshly cut grass. The night was quiet, save for the distant sound of crickets chirping and the soft rustling of leaves in the breeze. The voice spoke again, gentle and reassuring. "Welcome to your new home, Marcus. This estate is yours now, a reward for your perseverance and determination." Marcus walked slowly toward the mansion, his footsteps echoing on the stone path. He felt a sense of awe and disbelief as he approached the front door, which was made of rich, dark wood and adorned with intricate carvings. He reached out to touch the door, half expecting it to disappear under his fingers, but it was solid and real. The door swung open on its own, revealing a grand foyer with marble floors and a sweeping staircase. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling, casting a warm, golden light over the space. The walls were lined with artwork, paintings and sculptures that looked like they belonged in a museum. Everything was immaculate, from the polished floors to the gleaming banisters. Marcus stepped inside, his heart racing as he took in the opulence of his surroundings. The voice guided him through the mansion, showing him room after room, each more luxurious than the last. There was a massive living room with plush sofas and a grand piano, a dining room with a table that could seat 20, a state-of-the-art kitchen with gleaming appliances, and a library filled with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. Every room was a masterpiece, designed with exquisite attention to detail. The furniture was elegant and comfortable, the decor tasteful and sophisticated. Marcus felt like he had stepped into the home of a billionaire, a place that was far beyond anything he had ever imagined for himself. As he explored the mansion, the voice continued to speak, explaining the various features of the estate. There was a home theater with a massive screen and surround sound, a gym with the latest exercise equipment, a spa with a sauna and hot tub, and even an indoor swimming pool. The mansion had everything Marcus could ever want and more. The voice led him to the master suite on the third floor, a sprawling room with a king-sized bed, a sitting area, and a balcony that overlooked the gardens. The in-suite bathroom was like something out of a luxury hotel, with a deep soaking tub, a walk-in shower, and marble countertops. Marcus stood in the middle of the room, feeling overwhelmed by the sheer grandeur of it all. This was his home now, a place of unimaginable wealth and comfort. But as incredible as it was, he couldn't help but feel a sense of disbelief. How had this happened? Why had the Eden system chosen him? The voice seemed to sense his thoughts. This is only the beginning, Marcus. The Eden system is a reward for those who refuse to give up, for those who fight against all odds. You have shown strength, resilience, and determination, and now you have been given the tools to create the life you've always dreamed of. Marcus sat down on the edge of the bed, his mind racing. But why me? What makes me so special? You have something inside you, the voice replied. A spark, a drive that sets you apart. The Eden system recognizes this, and it has chosen you to be its host. But this is not just about wealth or luxury. It's about what you will do with this opportunity. The choices you make from here on out will define your future. Marcus nodded slowly, the weight of the voice's words settling over him. This was more than just a gift, it was a responsibility. He had been given a second chance, a chance to build something better, not just for himself, but for his family and others like him who were struggling to get by. He stood up and walked out onto the balcony, looking out over the estate. The garden stretched out before him, lush and green, with paths winding through the trees and flower beds. In the distance, he could see the lights of the city, a reminder of the world he had come from. Marcus took a deep breath, feeling a sense of peace wash over him. This was his new reality, a life filled with possibilities. But it was up to him to make the most of it, to use the resources he had been given to create something meaningful. "Thank you," he said quietly, his voice carrying into the night. "I don't know who you are or why you chose me, but I'm grateful." The voice didn't respond, but Marcus felt a warmth in his chest, a sense of approval and encouragement. He knew that this was only the beginning of his journey and that there would be challenges ahead. But for the first time in a long time, he felt hopeful. He felt ready. The following morning, Marcus woke up in the master suite of his new estate, sunlight streaming through the tall windows. For a moment, he lay there, staring at the ornate ceiling, trying to convince himself that everything he had experienced the previous night wasn't just a vivid dream. But as he glanced around the luxurious room, reality settled in. This was his life now. He got out of bed and explored the mansion again, this time in the light of day. The estate was even more breathtaking in the sunlight, the gardens outside filled with vibrant colors and the scent of fresh blooms. The voice remained silent as Marcus wandered through the mansion, allowing him to fully take in his new surroundings. He found a walk-in closet filled with clothes that fit him perfectly, from casual wear to tailored suits. Everything was of the highest quality, made from materials he had only ever seen in magazines. Marcus dressed in a simple, comfortable outfit and made his way to the kitchen, where he discovered that the fridge and pantry were fully stocked with gourmet food and ingredients. Marcus cooked himself a hearty breakfast, enjoying the process in the spacious, state-of-the-art kitchen. As he ate, he couldn't help but marvel at the sheer opulence of his new life. Just yesterday, he had been struggling to keep his family's resale shop afloat, and now he was sitting in a mansion, eating a meal that would rival any five-star restaurant. But as he sat there, a thought nagged at the back of his mind. What was he supposed to do with all of this? The voice had said that this was only the beginning, that the choices he made would define his future. But what did that mean? What was his next step? After finishing breakfast, Marcus decided to call his parents. He had promised to let them know when he arrived at the estate, and he knew they were probably worried sick. As the phone rang, he wondered how he was going to explain everything he had seen. "Marcus, is that you?" His mother's voice came through, filled with concern. "Yeah, Mom, it's me," Marcus replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "I'm at the estate now. It's incredible." "Incredible?" Carol echoed, sounding both relieved and confused. "What do you mean? Where are you?" "I'm not sure exactly where," Marcus admitted. "It's pretty secluded. But the place is huge, Mom. It's like something out of a movie, a mansion with everything you could ever want." There was a pause on the other end of the line, and then his father's voice chimed in. "Are you sure this is safe, Marcus? This all sounds too good to be true." "I know, Dad," Marcus said, understanding their skepticism. "I feel the same way, but it's real. I'm here, and it's all real." The voice said, "This is a reward for not giving up, for fighting even when things were tough." Harold sighed. "We just want to make sure you're okay, son. This is a lot to take in, and we don't want you getting hurt." "I know, and I appreciate it," Marcus said sincerely. "But I think this is something good, something that can help us. I'm going to figure out how to use this to help the family, to save the shop, and to build something better." His mother's voice softened. "We trust you, Marcus. Just be careful, okay? We love you." "I love you too, Mom. I'll be careful, I promise." After hanging up, Marcus felt a renewed sense of determination. His parents were right, this was a lot to take in, and there were still so many questions he didn't have answers to. But he couldn't let fear hold him back. He had been given an opportunity that most people could only dream of, and he needed to make the most of it. As he stood in the grand kitchen, the voice returned, gentle and reassuring. Marcus, your journey is just beginning. You have been given the resources to change your life and the lives of those around you. But remember, true power comes not from wealth, but from how you use it. Marcus nodded, taking in the voice's words. I understand. I want to help my family to make sure they're taken care of. And I want to do more than that. I want to help others who are struggling, just like we were. That is the path of true greatness, the voice replied. Use the resources you have been given wisely. Invest in your family's business, expand it, and help others in need. The Eden system will support you in your endeavors, but the choices are yours to make. With the voice's guidance, Marcus began to formulate a plan. He would start by securing the family's resale shop, ensuring they could keep the building and expand their business. With his newfound wealth, he could renovate the shop, buy new inventory, and even open additional locations. But he wouldn't stop there. He wanted to create a foundation that would provide financial assistance and business support to small, struggling businesses in the community. The voice had mentioned that he now held a 75% stake in Eden Global Trading Corporation. He would need to learn more about the company, understand what it did, and how he could leverage his new position to create positive change. There was a lot of work to be done, but for the first time in his life, Marcus felt truly empowered. The mansion was filled with possibilities, each room a symbol of the wealth and resources now at his disposal. But Marcus knew that true success would come from using those resources to make a difference, to lift others up just as he had been lifted. As he stood on the balcony, looking out over the sprawling estate, Marcus made a silent vow. He would honor the gift he had been given by creating something meaningful, something that would last long after he was gone. He would prove that the Eden system had chosen the right person, someone who wouldn't just take the money and run, but someone who would use it to build a better future. And so, with the sun rising over the horizon, casting a golden light over the estate, Marcus prepared to step into his new reality, a reality filled with challenges, opportunities, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. Marcus stood in the center of the mansion's grand library, surrounded by towering shelves filled with books that spanned every conceivable subject. The room was quiet. The only sound was the crackling of a fire in the ornate fireplace. He had spent the last few days exploring his new estate, but the magnitude of his situation still hadn't fully sunk in. He had more wealth than he had ever imagined, more power than he had ever dreamed of, and yet he felt a deep responsibility to use it wisely. As he stood there, lost in thought, the voice returned, calm and reassuring as ever. Marcus, it's time to learn about the Eden system. This knowledge will guide you in making the most of the resources you've been given. Marcus nodded, focusing his attention on the voice. I'm ready. What is the Eden system, exactly? Why was I chosen? The Eden system, the voice began, is a unique, advanced program that identifies individuals who possess extraordinary resilience, determination, and potential for growth. It rewards those who, despite overwhelming adversity, refuse to give up. You were chosen because you demonstrated these qualities, and now the Eden system will support you in your journey to create positive change. Marcus listened intently, the weight of the words settling over him. So, it's a tool? A kind of support system? Yes, the voice confirmed. The Eden system is designed to amplify your strengths, providing you with the resources, knowledge, and opportunities to achieve your goals. But it's important to understand that these rewards are not without purpose. They are given to those who will use them wisely, to uplift themselves and others. Marcus felt a sense of clarity washing over him. What do I need to do to make the most of this? How do I use the Eden system to help my family and others? The first step, the voice explained, is to understand the full extent of your resources. You have been given a significant amount of wealth, but that is just the beginning. The Eden system will provide you with guidance on how to invest, grow your influence, and how to create lasting impact. It will also teach you the principles of sound business management, strategic thinking, and ethical leadership. As the voice spoke, Marcus felt a surge of determination. He had been handed an incredible opportunity, and he was not going to waste it. "I want to help my family's business first," he said. "They've worked so hard, and they deserve to see it thrive. But I also want to do more, help other small businesses that are struggling, like we were." "That is a wise choice," the voice said approvingly. "The first step is to secure your family's business. Use your resources to pay off any debts, purchase the building, and invest in renovations. This will not only stabilize the business but also create a foundation for future growth. Once your family's business is secure, you can expand your efforts to help others." Marcus nodded, feeling a plan forming in his mind. "And what about Eden Global Trading Corporation? What is my role there?" Eden Global Trading Corporation is a major international corporation with interests in various industries, the voice explained. "As the majority shareholder, you have the power to influence the direction of the company. You can choose to steer it towards ethical business practices, social responsibility, and initiatives that benefit the greater good. The decisions you make at Eden Global will have a ripple effect, impacting not just the company but also the communities it serves." The enormity of the responsibility weighed heavily on Marcus, but it also filled him with a sense of purpose. "I want to do this right," he said, more to himself than to the voice. "I want to make a difference." "You have the potential to do so," the voice affirmed. "Remember, the Eden system is here to support you, but the choices are yours. Trust in your instincts, stay true to your values, and you will find success." Marcus spent the rest of the day immersed in learning. The voice guided him through various modules, teaching him about financial management, investment strategies, business ethics, and leadership principles. It was like having a mentor who knew everything, always ready to provide the knowledge he needed to make informed decisions. He learned about the stock market, how to read financial reports, and the intricacies of running a successful business. The voice also introduced him to the concept of social entrepreneurship, using business as a force for good, creating value not just for shareholders but for society as a whole. As the hours passed, Marcus began to feel more confident in his ability to navigate this new world. He understood that the wealth and power he had been given were tools, and it was up to him to wield them responsibly. He made a mental list of priorities. First, secure his family's business. Second, establish a foundation to support other small businesses. And third, take an active role in Eden Global Trading Corporation, ensuring the company operated with integrity and purpose. By the time the sun set, Marcus had a clear vision of what he wanted to achieve. The voice had given him the tools, but it was up to him to build something meaningful. He knew there would be challenges ahead, but for the first time in a long time, he felt truly prepared. The next morning, Marcus set his plan into motion. The first order of business was to secure the family's resale shop. He called his parents and arranged a meeting with them at the shop. As he drove through the city, he couldn't help but notice how different everything looked. The streets, the buildings, the people, it was all the same, but Marcus felt like he was seeing it through new eyes. He had the power to change things, to make a real impact, and that realization filled him with a sense of determination. When he arrived at the shop, his parents were already there, waiting for him. The shop looked as it always had, small, a bit worn around the edges, but filled with the warmth of years of hard work and dedication. Marcus's heart swelled with pride as he walked through the door. This place was more than just a business, it was a symbol of his family's resilience and strength. His father, Harold, greeted him with a firm handshake, while his mother, Carol, gave him a tight hug. "You look like you've got something on your mind," Harold said, studying his son's face. "I do," Marcus replied, feeling the weight of what he was about to say. "I want to talk to you both about the shop, and about what I've been given." Carol looked concerned, but Harold nodded, motioning for Marcus to continue. "Go on, son. We're listening." Marcus took a deep breath and began. "I've been given a chance to change things for us. The Eden system, it's real, and it's given me the resources to help us in ways I never thought possible. I want to start by securing this shop by making sure it stays in our family for generations to come." Harold exchanged a glance with Carol, who looked both hopeful and skeptical. What exactly are you proposing, Marcus? Harold asked, his voice cautious. I want to buy the building outright, Marcus said firmly. No more rent, no more worrying about losing it. I'll pay off any debts we have and invest in renovating the shop, making it bigger, better, more competitive. We can expand our inventory, reach more customers, and even open a second location if we want. Carol's eyes widened in disbelief. Marcus, that sounds incredible. But where is all this money coming from? Is it safe? Are you sure it's not too good to be true? It's real, Mom, Marcus assured her. I've checked everything, and the Eden system is legitimate. I know it sounds unbelievable, but I've been given this gift, and I want to use it to help us. We've worked too hard to lose this shop now. Harold rubbed his chin thoughtfully, clearly weighing his son's words. Buying the building outright, that would give us security we've never had before. And renovating the shop, it could attract more customers, make us stand out. Exactly, Marcus agreed. We can turn this shop into something amazing, something that honors all the work you've put into it. Carol smiled, tears welling up in her eyes. You've always been a good son, Marcus. We just want what's best for you. If you believe this is the right thing to do, then we trust you. Harold nodded, his expression softening. All right, Marcus. If this is what you want, we'll do it. But we'll take it one step at a time, and we'll be careful. That's all I'm asking, Marcus said, relief washing over him. Thank you, both of you. This is just the beginning, I promise, things are going to get better. With his parents on board, Marcus moved quickly to secure the building. The process was surprisingly smooth, thanks to the resources provided by the Eden system. Within days, Marcus had purchased the building outright, ensuring that the shop would remain in his family's hands. The next step was renovation. Marcus hired a team of architects and designers to transform the shop into something truly special. The voice guided him in making smart decisions, investing in sustainable materials, creating a layout that maximized space, and incorporating technology to streamline operations. He also expanded the inventory, sourcing high-quality goods that would appeal to a broader customer base. As the renovation progressed, word began to spread in the neighborhood. People were curious about the changes happening at the old retail shop, and Marcus made sure to keep the community informed. He wanted them to know that this wasn't just about making money, it was about creating something that would benefit everyone. When the renovations were complete, the shop was almost unrecognizable. The once modest building had been transformed into a vibrant, modern space, with large windows that let in natural light, shelves stocked with carefully curated items, and a sleek, welcoming interior. The grand reopening was a huge success, drawing in customers from all over the city. Marcus's parents were overjoyed. The shop was thriving, bringing in more revenue than ever before. But more importantly, it had become a cornerstone of the community, a place where people could find quality goods at fair prices and where they felt valued and appreciated. With the family business secure, Marcus turned his attention to the next phase of his plan, helping other small businesses. He established the Eden Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing financial support and business mentorship to struggling entrepreneurs. The foundation offered microloans, business planning assistance, and networking opportunities, giving small business owners the tools they needed to succeed. The foundation quickly gained a reputation for its effectiveness, and Marcus found himself in high demand as a mentor and advisor. He was invited to speak at business conferences, where he shared his story and encouraged others to pursue their dreams, no matter how difficult the path might seem. As the foundation grew, Marcus made sure to stay true to his values. He focused on helping those who, like him, had faced significant challenges but refused to give up. He prioritized businesses that were committed to ethical practices, sustainability, and community engagement. The Eden system continued to provide guidance, helping Marcus make decisions that aligned with his vision. In a matter of months, Marcus had gone from struggling to keep his family's shop open to becoming a successful entrepreneur and philanthropist. But despite all the success, he remained humble and grounded. He knew that his journey was far from over and that there were still many challenges ahead. As Marcus's influence grew, so did the envy and resentment of those who once looked down on him, including his cousin Tyrone. Tyrone had always been the golden child of the family, the one who could do no wrong. His parents owned a successful pawn shop, and Tyrone had followed in their footsteps, quickly rising to prominence in the business. He had wealth, status, and a confidence that bordered on arrogance. And for years, Marcus had lived in his shadow, always feeling like he was one step behind. But now the tables had turned. Marcus's sudden success was the talk of the family, and Tyrone couldn't stand it. He had never expected Marcus, the quiet, hard-working cousin who ran a small resale shop, to outshine him. And yet here he was, wealthy, influential, and admired by everyone who knew him. Tyrone's envy festered, turning into something darker. He couldn't understand how Marcus had come into so much money, so much power, seemingly overnight. To Tyrone, it felt like a personal affront, as if Marcus had stolen the spotlight that rightfully belonged to him. The confrontation came one afternoon when Marcus decided to pay a visit to the pawnshop. He hadn't spoken to Tyrone since discovering the betrayal with Keisha, and while he had tried to focus on his own success, the thought of their unresolved conflict lingered in the back of his mind. When Marcus walked into the pawnshop, he was greeted by the familiar sight of cluttered shelves filled with electronics, jewelry, and other valuables. The shop was busy, as it usually was, with customers browsing and haggling over prices. Tyrone was behind the counter, talking to a customer, but when he saw Marcus, his expression hardened. "What are you doing here?" Tyrone asked coldly, his voice dripping with disdain. "I came to talk," Marcus replied, keeping his tone calm and even. "We haven't spoken in a while, and I think we need to clear the air." Tyrone crossed his arms, leaning back against the counter. "Clear the air? You think you can just walk in here and pretend everything's fine? After everything that's happened?" Marcus took a deep breath, trying to keep his emotions in check. "I'm not here to argue, Tyrone. I'm here to try to make things right. We're family, and I don't want this tension between us." "Tension?" Tyrone scoffed. "You think this is just tension? You stole Keisha from me, Marcus. You stole everything." Marcus felt a surge of anger at Tyrone's accusation. "I didn't steal anything, Tyrone. Keisha made her choice. And as for everything else, I've worked hard for what I have. You have no idea what I've been through." "Worked hard?" Tyrone sneered. "You expect me to believe that? One day you're broke, and the next you're living in a mansion and running a foundation? Something's not right, and I'm going to find out what it is." Marcus shook his head, feeling a mixture of frustration and pity for his cousin. "You don't have to believe me, Tyrone. But I'm telling the truth. The Eden system gave me a second chance because I refused to give up. And now, I'm using that chance to make a difference." Tyrone's eyes narrowed, his jealousy boiling over. "The Eden system? What kind of scam is that? You think you can just waltz in here and pretend to be some kind of saint while the rest of us struggle?" "It's not a scam," Marcus said firmly. "It's real, and it's given me the opportunity to help people. That's all I'm trying to do." "Help people?" Tyrone spat. "You're just trying to make yourself look good. You always were a goody two-shoes, thinking you're better than everyone else." Marcus felt a pang of sadness as he looked at his cousin. "I don't think I'm better than anyone, Tyrone. I'm just trying to make the most of what I've been given. I don't want to fight with you. I just want us to move on." Tyrone's expression remained hard, but there was a flicker of something else in his eyes, perhaps regret or even a hint of guilt. "Move on? How am I supposed to move on when you've taken everything I wanted?" Marcus sighed, realizing that Tyrone's envy and bitterness ran deeper than he had thought. "I didn't take anything from you, Tyrone. We each have our own path. I'm not your enemy. I'm still your family." For a moment, there was silence between them. Then Tyrone looked away, his jaw clenched. "Just get out of here, Marcus. I don't want to see you. Marcus nodded slowly, accepting that there was nothing more he could say. If you ever want to talk, I'm here, he said quietly. But I won't force you. Take care of yourself, Tyrone. Without another word, Marcus turned and left the pawn shop, the weight of the encounter heavy on his shoulders. As he walked back to his car, he couldn't shake the feeling of disappointment. He had hoped to mend the rift between him and Tyrone, but it seemed that his cousin's jealousy was too deep to overcome. As Marcus drove away, the voice returned, offering comfort. You did what you could, Marcus. Not everyone will accept the changes in your life, and not everyone will be ready to move forward. But you must stay true to your path. Marcus nodded, feeling a sense of resolve. He had tried to make amends, but he couldn't control how others responded. All he could do was continue to focus on his own journey, using the Eden system to create positive change. The confrontation with Tyrone lingered in Marcus's mind for days, gnawing at him as he went about his work. He had always looked up to Tyrone, despite their differences, and it hurt to see their relationship reduced to bitterness and resentment. Marcus couldn't help but wonder if there was more he could have done, if there was a way to reach Tyrone and help him see that they didn't have to be rivals. As the days passed, Marcus found himself wrestling with conflicting emotions. Part of him wanted to help Tyrone, to extend a hand and show him that they could both succeed without tearing each other down. But another part of him, the part that still smarted from the betrayal with Keisha, felt a lingering desire for revenge. Tyrone had hurt him deeply, and there was a part of Marcus that wanted to show his cousin just how far he had come, to make him see what he had lost by turning against him. The voice, sensing Marcus's inner turmoil, offered its guidance. Marcus, the path you choose now will define the course of your journey. The Eden system rewards those who use their power to uplift others, but it also recognizes the need for justice. You must decide whether you seek redemption or revenge. Marcus pondered the voice's words, feeling the weight of the decision before him. He had the power to crush Tyrone's business if he wanted to. With his resources and influence, he could easily outcompete the pawn shop, driving it out of business and leaving Tyrone with nothing. The thought was tempting, a way to even the score and make Tyrone pay for what he had done. But as Marcus considered the consequences, he realized that revenge would only perpetuate the cycle of bitterness and hatred. It would bring no true satisfaction, only more pain and division. He thought about his parents and about the values they had instilled in him, kindness, humility, and the importance of family. They had always taught him that true strength came from lifting others up, not tearing them down. Marcus took a deep breath, letting go of the anger and resentment that had been festering inside him. I choose redemption, he said quietly, the words filled with resolve. Tyrone is still my family, and I don't want to see him fail. If there's a way to help him, I'll do it. The voice responded with approval. That is a wise choice, Marcus. Redemption is a path of healing for both yourself and those you seek to help. The Eden system will support you in your efforts to reach out to Tyrone, but remember, true change must come from within. He must be willing to accept your help. Marcus knew the voice was right. He couldn't force Tyrone to change, but he could offer him an opportunity, a way to rebuild their relationship and find a new path forward. The next day, Marcus decided to pay another visit to the pawn shop, this time with a different approach. He had spent the night thinking about how he could reach Tyrone, and he realized that the best way to start was by showing him that he wasn't a threat. He wanted Tyrone to see that they could both succeed without undermining each other. When Marcus arrived at the pawn shop, he noticed that business was slower than usual. The once bustling shop now had only a few customers, and the atmosphere felt tense. Tyrone was behind the counter, looking weary and frustrated. He glanced up when Marcus entered, his expression immediately hardening. What do you want now? Tyrone asked, his tone defensive. Marcus approached the counter, trying to keep his voice calm and non-confrontational. I'm not here to argue, Tyrone. I'm here to talk. I've been thinking about our last conversation, and I realized that I don't want us to be enemies. Tyrone raised an eyebrow, clearly skeptical. Enemies? What are you talking about? We're family, Marcus continued. We've always been family, and that's more important than any business rivalry. I don't want to compete with you, Tyrone. I want to work together to help each other succeed. Tyrone's expression softened slightly, but there was still a hint of suspicion in his eyes. Work together? Why would you want to help me after everything that's happened? Because it's the right thing to do, Marcus said simply. I've been given a lot, and I want to use it to make things better, for everyone, not just myself. That includes you, Tyrone. I know we've had our differences, but I don't want to see you struggle. If there's anything I can do to help, I'm here. Tyrone was silent for a long moment, clearly taken aback by Marcus's offer. He looked down at the counter, his mind clearly racing as he processed what Marcus had said. Finally, Tyrone spoke, his voice quieter and less defensive. I don't know, Marcus. It's hard to believe that after everything, you'd still want to help me. I do, Marcus insisted. We've both made mistakes, but we don't have to let those mistakes define our relationship. I want to move forward, Tyrone. I want to see both of us succeed, and I believe we can do that if we work together. Tyrone looked up, meeting Marcus's gaze. There was a vulnerability in his eyes that Marcus hadn't seen before, a glimpse of the cousin he had once looked up to. You really mean that, don't you? I do, Marcus said with conviction. I'm not here to take anything from you, Tyrone. I'm here to offer my support, however you need it. Tyrone hesitated, then slowly nodded. All right, Marcus. I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but maybe we can find a way to make this work. A sense of relief washed over Marcus. This was the first step toward healing the rift between them, and he was determined to make it work. Thank you, Tyrone. I appreciate that. Let's start by talking about how we can support each other's businesses. There's enough room for both of us to succeed. As they began to discuss potential collaborations and ways to strengthen their businesses, Marcus felt a sense of hope. This was the path he had chosen, the path of redemption. Building something better, not just for himself, but for those around him. And as he looked at his cousin, he realized that this was just the beginning of a new chapter in their relationship. The Eden system had given Marcus the tools he needed to create positive change, but it was his choices, his commitment to helping others, to seeking redemption over revenge, that would ultimately define his journey. And in that moment, he knew he was on the right path. The grand reopening of the family resale shop was only the beginning for Marcus. The shop had been transformed from a modest, struggling business into a thriving, modern enterprise. The renovations had brought in a flood of new customers, and the expanded inventory had kept them coming back. Marcus's parents were overjoyed, and the sense of security that came with owning the building outright had lifted a heavy burden off their shoulders. But for Marcus, the success of the shop wasn't just about the money, it was about the impact it had on the community. He saw how the shop had become a gathering place, a cornerstone of the neighborhood where people could find quality goods at affordable prices. He realized that this was something special, something that could be replicated in other communities that were struggling just as they had. One evening, as he sat in the kitchen of his estate, Marcus began to sketch out a plan. The voice of the Eden system had taught him to think strategically, to look beyond the immediate success and envision the bigger picture. The idea was simple yet ambitious: expand the family business into a chain of resale shops that would serve underprivileged communities across the city, and eventually, the state. The idea filled Marcus with excitement. He knew that there were many neighborhoods where people were struggling to make ends meet, where access to affordable goods was limited. By expanding the business, he could help fill that gap, providing these communities with the same opportunities that had been given to him. The next day, Marcus presented his idea to his parents. They were initially taken aback by the scale of his vision, but as he explained his plan, they began to see the potential. Think about it, Marcus said, his voice filled with enthusiasm. We've seen how much of a difference the renovations have made here. Imagine what we could do if we brought this model to other neighborhoods. We could create jobs, provide affordable goods, and give back to the communities that need it most. Harold, Marcus's father, leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful expression on his face. It's a big step, Marcus. Expanding like this would require a lot of resources and careful planning. Are you sure we're ready for that? Marcus nodded confidently. I've been working with the Eden system, learning about business management, investments, and how to scale operations. We have the resources, and I'm ready to put in the work to make this happen. But I can't do it without you. Carol, his mother, smiled proudly at her son. You've always had a big heart, Marcus. If anyone can do this, it's you. We're behind you all the way. With his parents' blessing, Marcus began to put his plan into action. He hired a team of experts to help with the expansion, including real estate agents to scout potential locations, contractors to renovate the new shops, and marketing professionals to help spread the word. The first step was to identify neighborhoods where the new shops would have the most impact, areas that were underserved, where people needed access to affordable goods and services. The voice of the Eden system guided Marcus every step of the way, helping him make smart decisions and avoid common pitfalls. It taught him how to negotiate leases, manage supply chains, and build relationships with local vendors. Marcus was determined to create a business model that was not only profitable but also socially responsible. As the first new locations began to take shape, Marcus felt a deep sense of satisfaction. He visited each site personally, meeting with community leaders, listening to their needs, and ensuring that the shops would provide real value to the people they served. He wanted the shops to be more than just places to buy goods. He wanted them to be community hubs, places where people could come together, find support, and feel a sense of pride in their neighborhood. The grand openings of the new shops were met with overwhelming success. The communities welcomed them with open arms, grateful for the opportunity to access quality goods at prices they could afford. Marcus's vision was becoming a reality, and the impact was immediate. Jobs were created, local businesses thrived, and the neighborhoods began to see a renewed sense of hope. But Marcus didn't stop there. He knew that to truly make a difference, he needed to think long-term. He began to explore ways to make the business model sustainable, investing in green technologies and energy-efficient buildings. He partnered with local artisans and craftspeople to stock the shops with unique, locally made products, providing a platform for small businesses to reach a wider audience. The chain of retail shops quickly gained a reputation for being ethical, community-focused, and innovative. They became known not just for their affordability but also for their commitment to social good. Marcus's vision had transformed the family business into a force for positive change, and he was just getting started. With the expansion of the retail shops well underway, Marcus turned his attention to another aspect of his plan, supporting others who were in the same position he had once been in. He knew firsthand how difficult it could be to keep a small business afloat, especially in the face of financial hardship and competition from larger corporations. He wanted to use his newfound wealth and influence to give others the same opportunities that had been given to him. To achieve this, Marcus established the Eden Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting small business owners and entrepreneurs in underprivileged communities. The foundation's mission was simple: to provide financial assistance, business mentorship, and resources to those who needed it most. Marcus assembled a team of experienced professionals to help run the foundation, including financial advisors, business consultants, and community organizers. He wanted to ensure that the foundation was equipped to offer a wide range of services, from microloans to business planning workshops. The foundation's first initiative was the microloan program, designed to provide small, low-interest loans to entrepreneurs who lacked access to traditional financing. Marcus knew that many small business owners struggled to secure loans from banks due to poor credit or lack of collateral, and he wanted to change that. The microloans were specifically targeted at businesses that were just starting out or that needed a financial boost to stay afloat. In addition to the microloan program, the Eden Foundation offered business mentorship to help entrepreneurs navigate the challenges of running a business. The mentorship program paired experienced business owners with newcomers, providing guidance on everything from marketing and customer service to financial management and scaling operations. Marcus himself took an active role in the mentorship program, sharing his experiences and offering advice to those who were just starting their journey. The foundation also hosted regular workshops and seminars, covering a wide range of topics relevant to small business owners. These events were open to the public and provided valuable information on everything from digital marketing to sustainable business practices. Marcus wanted the foundation to be a resource hub, a place where entrepreneurs could come to learn, connect, and grow. One of the most impactful aspects of the Eden Foundation was its focus on community engagement. Marcus believed that businesses should be an integral part of the communities they served, and he encouraged the foundation's beneficiaries to give back in meaningful ways. The foundation supported community-driven projects, such as local festivals, beautification efforts, and educational programs. It also provided grants to nonprofits and community organizations that were working to improve the quality of life in underserved neighborhoods. As the Eden Foundation grew, so did its impact. Small businesses that had once struggled to keep their doors open began to thrive, thanks to the support and resources provided by the foundation. Entrepreneurs who had once felt isolated and overwhelmed found a community of like-minded individuals who were eager to help them succeed. The foundation became a beacon of hope for those who had been told that their dreams were out of reach. Marcus took great pride in the success of the foundation, but he never lost sight of its true purpose. He knew that the foundation wasn't just about handing out money or offering advice, it was about empowering people to take control of their own destinies. It was about giving them the tools they needed to build a better future for themselves and their families. The foundation's success attracted attention from the media, and soon Marcus found himself being interviewed by reporters and featured in articles. People were fascinated by his story, how he had gone from struggling to keep his family's shop open to running a successful chain of resale shops and a foundation dedicated to helping others. Marcus was always quick to credit the Eden system for giving him the opportunity, but he also emphasized the importance of hard work, determination, and a willingness to help others. Through the Eden Foundation, Marcus was able to touch countless lives, and the ripple effect of his efforts could be seen in the thriving communities, the growing businesses, and the renewed sense of hope that was spreading across the city. But even as the foundation grew in prominence, Marcus remained focused on its core mission, to support those who needed it most and to create opportunities for those who had been overlooked. In many ways, the foundation was a reflection of Marcus's own journey, a journey from adversity to success, from struggle to empowerment. And as the foundation continued to grow, Marcus knew that he was fulfilling the purpose that the Eden system had intended for him, to make a difference in the world, one person, one business, and one community at a time. As Marcus's business empire and the Eden Foundation continued to expand, so too did his personal growth. The journey from being a struggling young man to a successful entrepreneur and philanthropist had been transformative in more ways than one. Marcus had always been driven, but now he was becoming more confident, and more aware of his own potential. But despite all the success, Marcus remained humble. He never forgot where he had come from, and he knew that his journey had only been possible because of the opportunities and support he had received. The Eden system had given him the resources, but it was his own determination and the love of his family that had carried him through the darkest times. One of the most significant changes in Marcus was his newfound sense of purpose. Before the Eden system had entered his life, he had been focused on simply surviving, on keeping the family shop open and making it through each day. But now he had a vision for the future, a vision of what he could achieve, not just for himself, but for others. Marcus had always been compassionate, but now he was more empathetic, more attuned to the struggles of those around him. He had walked in their shoes, experienced the same fears and uncertainties, and he wanted to do everything he could to help them find their way. This empathy made him a better leader, a better mentor, and a better person. In addition to his professional growth, Marcus also began to focus on his personal well-being. The stress and anxiety that had plagued him for years began to fade as he found stability and purpose in his work. He made time for exercise, eating well, and meditation, practices that helped him stay grounded and focused. The mansion's gym and spa became regular retreats for him, places where he could clear his mind and recharge. Marcus also made an effort to reconnect with the people who had been important to him before his life had taken such a dramatic turn. He reached out to old friends, inviting them to visit his estate and catch up on lost time. He reconnected with former colleagues and mentors, thanking them for the guidance they had provided when he needed it most. These relationships were a reminder of the importance of staying connected to his roots and of never forgetting the people who had supported him along the way. One of the most rewarding aspects of Marcus's personal growth was the way he was able to share his journey with others. He became a sought-after speaker, invited to give talks at business conferences, universities, and community events. People were inspired by his story, by the way he had turned adversity into opportunity, and they wanted to learn from his experiences. But Marcus always made sure to emphasize that his success wasn't just about the money or the Eden system. It was about the choices he had made, the choice to keep fighting, the choice to help others, the choice to use his resources for good. He spoke about the importance of resilience, of staying true to one's values, and of the power of community. His message resonated with people from all walks of life, and he found great fulfillment in being able to inspire others to pursue their own dreams. As Marcus grew into his role as a leader and a philanthropist, he also grew closer to his family. The success of the resale shops had brought them closer together, and they spent more time together than ever before. They celebrated each milestone, each new shop opening, and each success of the Eden Foundation. But they also made time for the simple pleasures, family dinners, movie nights, and long walks in the park. These moments of connection were a reminder of what truly mattered in life. Despite all the changes in his life, Marcus remained deeply grateful. He knew that his journey was far from over, that there were still challenges ahead and much more to achieve. But he also knew that he had been given a gift that he would use to make the world a better place. And as he stood on the balcony of his estate, looking out over the sprawling gardens and the city beyond, Marcus felt a deep sense of peace. He had found his purpose, his place in the world, and he was ready to continue his journey, one that would be defined not by the wealth he had gained, but by the lives he would touch, the communities he would uplift, and the difference he would make. Marcus had grown into the person he had always been meant to be, confident, successful, compassionate, and humble. And as he looked toward the future, he knew that the best was yet to come. As the sun set over the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over the sprawling estate, Marcus stood on the balcony, reflecting on the incredible journey that had brought him here. Just months ago, he had been on the brink of losing everything, his family's business, his relationship, and his sense of hope. But now, as he gazed out at the beautiful gardens and the city beyond, he felt a profound sense of gratitude and accomplishment. Marcus's journey had been nothing short of extraordinary. From the moment the Eden system had activated, his life had been transformed in ways he could never have imagined. He had taken his family's struggling resale shop and turned it into a successful chain of stores that served underprivileged communities, providing not just goods, but also hope and opportunity. The Eden Foundation had become a beacon of support for small business owners, helping them to overcome obstacles and achieve their dreams. And through it all, Marcus had grown into a confident, compassionate, and wise leader. Yet, despite all the success and the positive impact he had made, Marcus remained curious about the true nature of the Eden system. Who or what had activated it for him? Why had he been chosen? These questions lingered in his mind, a mystery that he might never fully understand. But rather than feeling frustrated, Marcus felt a deep sense of gratitude. The Eden system had given him the chance to turn his life around, to make a difference in the world, and for that, he was profoundly thankful. As he stood there, the voice of the Eden system echoed gently in his mind, a comforting presence that had guided him through every step of his journey. You have come far, Marcus. Your journey is a testament to the power of resilience, determination, and the desire to make a difference. The choices you have made have not only transformed your life, but also the lives of countless others. This is the true power of the Eden system. Marcus smiled, feeling a sense of peace wash over him. Thank you, he said quietly. For everything. I couldn't have done it without your guidance. The journey does not end here, the voice replied. There are still many opportunities ahead, many lives to touch, and many challenges to overcome. But you are ready. Trust in yourself and continue to use the resources and wisdom you have gained to create positive change. Looking out at the horizon, Marcus felt a surge of determination and excitement. The future was filled with possibilities, and he was ready to embrace whatever came next. With the support of the Eden system and the strength he had found within himself, he knew he could face any challenge and seize any opportunity. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Marcus took a deep breath, feeling a profound sense of anticipation for the future. His journey had been remarkable, but it was only the beginning. With newfound wisdom, unwavering determination, and a heart full of gratitude, he was ready to step into the next chapter of his life, a chapter defined by hope, purpose, and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. And so, with a renewed sense of purpose and a vision for the future, Marcus looked forward, ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that the best was yet to come. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Your comments and feedback really help us improve, so feel free to share your thoughts below. I love hearing from you, and your input is always appreciated. See you in the next one.